Yo, what up? Welcome to another episode of the Oakland Warriors podcast. I'm Patrick, flying solo. So the regular season is about to start, and I just wanted to do this quick hitter episode. First and foremost, congratulations to Moses Moody for signing an extension, 3 years, $39 million. Good for him to get that security, but also congratulations to Mike Dunleavy, Joe Lacob, and the Golden State Warriors, because I personally think that that is a hell of a deal for someone with Moses Moody's abilities and potential. He just hasn't had a chance, as we all know, free Moody, etc., etc. If Moody had been given more time, then obviously he would have built up more experience and a better stat sheet to negotiate with. So it's going to be great for the Warriors, and possibly, who knows, whatever team Moses Moody gets traded to, if he gets traded, if that comes to pass mid-season. I don't know. I put a poll out there on the YouTube channel asking which Warriors youngster is most likely to get moved by the February trade deadline. 240 votes. Impressive. 241 votes right now. And Trace Jackson Davis was 5%. Brandon Pajemski, 3%. Jonathan Kuminga, 17%. Moses Moody, 14%. And 60% was no one. The team plays well enough for Dunleavy and Lacob to keep them all. That would be really, really nice, optimistic. That would assume that the Warriors were playing well, that the young guys were stepping up, and that they were enough, that Dunleavy thought that they were enough to compete in the stretch run and in the postseason. But we shall see. I mean, Kuminga at 17%, Moody at 14%. I mean, that just makes sense, right? Because, you know, me and my buddy Vubang talked about this last episode. He thinks Kuminga's most likely to get traded. I think it could be Moody, largely because there's so much duplication, in my opinion, for Moody. And now that he's on a team-friendly contract, Kuminga obviously is the guy that every other team would want because of his potential and his upside to be a star, an all-star, whatever, you know? So it just really depends where this team is come, late January, beginning of February, and how these guys are playing out. And of course, Moody signed this contract, but the other big news is that Jonathan Kuminga did not get a contract extension. He did not sign one. Word was out that he was offered $30 million per year, which is pretty good. And he thinks he's more of a max player, worth more than that. And he could be. I mean, you know, for what it's worth, Steve Kerr is also really good at keeping lottery picks value low. Trade value for one, but then also just in terms of contracts. And I've always believed in Jonathan Kuminga. I've said it here before, even in recent weeks, that after he got drafted, I thought he'd be the Warriors' best player in 4 seasons. And technically that would be next season, but he is kind of climbing up there. He's already like top 2 or 3 in my opinion right now. I think with Kuminga, more power to him. You know, go for it. I think that, you know, despite what I may think or what other people may think, the first 3 seasons of Kuminga getting the short end of the stick, it's moot at this point. He's been putting in work. I've always said that it seems like he wants to be good. He wants to be great. And now he has the opportunity, right? Like for the past few seasons, it's always been Wiggins who Kerr and Draymond and Steph have depended on. But I feel like that door is wide open right here. It's like, okay, Kuminga, let's see what you can do. You know what I mean? So kick it down. Whether that means draining more threes, which are looking pretty good at this point, especially his catch and shoots, or, you know, he's got to get tighter on defense. And to me, that comes with desire, technique, and reps. So hopefully he has a desire on that end. And hopefully he learns the technique and he just gets the reps. You know what I mean? Part of it is just like being able to do it. Somebody pointed out that Wiggins is a better defender. And yeah, but Wiggins wasn't like a great defender when he came into the league. And that may not be reassuring for Kuminga in the next season or two, but it could be. You know, he has the ability. Again, it's up to him. If he wants that max, he's going to have to play like it, and he's going to have to play like he is the next face of the franchise, because that's what he's asking for at that salary slot. And I'm all here for it. You know what I mean? This is what is going to make it fun. I mean, heck, if you go to the YouTube channel, like on the banner is a photo of Jonathan Kuminga and Robert Parrish, right? Like the two double zeros, the most significant in Warriors history. And to me, Robert Parrish, of course, was a huge mistake, trading him, et cetera, et cetera. And then the pick that became McHale, we got Joe Barry Carroll. And then Kuminga, to me, the reason why they're both up there is like Kuminga can fix it. You know what I mean? Not that it's been all bad, obviously, the titles and the championships and the dynasty and all that, but just, it's a nice kind of parallel, come full circle if Kuminga can be that guy. And then if he's not, then it's too bad. And if he becomes the person that doesn't fit into what the Warriors want to do and then they trade him, then hopefully they get somebody really, really good and really, really athletic, because as I said before, they will be at a huge athleticism deficit if they get rid of Kuminga and just rely on Wiggins and an injured Gary Payton, etc., as the guys who are going to be quote unquote athletic and rim runners, because I don't really think that's the best situation for those dudes. But I really want to see it. Obviously, like it could turn south, right? It could turn into Kuminga pressing him, trying to get numbers, him be turning into a ball hog. I don't think so, but those are things you don't know how. I mean, he's never been in this situation, right? He's dealt with a lot of adversity in his life. He's, coming to the US as a teenager, not seeing his parents for years, all that jazz. But, being in this situation where all eyes are on you, the pressure is on you, the contract is based on you, and every single night, is he going to start feeling that pressure? It's just human nature. It's natural. And I'm very curious to see how that plays out. I'm confident, I believe that he will step up. But, we'll see. I think he has just as much talent as any of the other guys in his draft class who were picked or who've signed contracts picked before him and after. It's just that he hasn't gotten a shot. Plain and simple. You know that. I know that. Yes, he has his deficiencies. Part of that is him. Part of that is just lack of playing time. And if he hadn't piped up at the beginning of 2024 after that terrible Nuggets loss where Jokic hit the buzzer beater 3-pointer just past half court, that was the game where Kerr didn't play Kuminga for the whole fourth quarter after he'd been basically like their best or second best player the whole game. Then, where would he be now? So he piped up. Moody didn't. Moody got the contract, but it's lesser than what I think his actual real value is if he got playing time. And Kuminga, he has an opportunity to get what he wants. He just has to go out there and get it. So I'm hoping for and expecting big things. But one thing that's always been true of this Warriors team since, the past several seasons, right? Past few seasons, and then going back to like the KD years, is like there's always drama. There's always something going on. I miss the days of the early dynasty where there was very little drama, but that's what makes it interesting and gets the eyeballs and gets the hot takers taken, I suppose. I put out another poll on YouTube. Where will the Warriors finish in the Western Conference standings? I just put that out today, but the early results, 1-3, 25%, 4-6, 50%, 7-8, 20%. No one thinks 9-10 so far, and then 5% out of the play-in completely. And I'm on record. I said I predicted fifth. Vubang, a couple weeks back, predicted sixth. I wanted sixth, but I didn't want to pick the same number. So I went more optimistic. I went fifth. And it could, play out that way. We'll see. Again, you never know what happens with injuries. You never know what happens with Draymond. You never know what happens with young guys who are critical to your team. And you never know what happens with Kerr's rotations and what he decides. So I'm just excited and glad that the season is back. I'm glad that that Draymond hasn't punched anybody yet. And I'm glad that this roster looks like it is deep enough, and that it it's balanced, it's deep, it's not very big, and it's not super athletic, but it's a good mix of veterans and young dudes who have ability. You know what I mean? And I like that. And these past few years, it seems like the Warriors always seem to get a little bit like deeper in their roster. And last season, we thought they were pretty deep, right? Last season, we thought that their starting five, which was the best starting five the previous season or two, best 5-man unit overall, would hold up, and that the bench was going to really stand out. But it was the starting unit, if you recall, is the one that fell apart and let the Warriors down. So I think with this season, there's optimism. I have optimism. I just want to see something fun. I just want to be entertained. I don't want to be dragged down by suspensions or arguments or petty stuff, anything like that. I just want to see good, fun basketball and a team that has a chance any given night. And if the Warriors can get to the 5th spot or just out of the play-in, then as well as I do that just give Steph and Draymond a chance in a 7-game series, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And like I mentioned in a previous episode, the West is good. There's some really good teams, and we're far from the days of the Warriors being the front-running dominant team, but some of these good teams are not as good. They're still really good, but like they may have taken a step back. Like the Nuggets, they lost some people. How will the Timberwolves play with Julius Randle instead of Karl Anthony Towns? Are they going to be better? Are they going to be worse? A lot of people think they might be worse, but you never know. OKC, they're going to be good. They're going to be good no matter what. So, there's going to be some teams that are just better than the Warriors, but there's not going to be, I don't see a dynasty team in the West for sure. People talk about the Celtics in the East. I don't know about that. We'll see. But in the West, no. So just get in, as the mantra has been for the past, I don't know, since 2019, just get into the tournament and let's have some fun and let's make some noise. But it's several months away. Like what? The regular season's like 6 months. So hopefully it's not going to be a slog like last year or the year before. Hopefully there's a lot more joy than there is drama and just negativity, negative vibes, all that stuff. But anyway, we'll see how it goes opening night against thankfully, the lowly Portland Trailblazers. So hopefully we can notch that one pretty easy. All right, that's all I got. Go Dubs.